Opinion Operation Sindoor and the collapse of Pakistani air power in the wake of the April 22, 2025, Pahalgam terror attack, which left 26 Indians dead. India responded with a calculated and overwhelming military retaliation Operation Sindoor. Launched on May 7, this four-day campaign crippled Pakistan's aerial capabilities, decimated key command centers, and sent a clear signal to both adversaries and observers. The Indian Air Force is no longer reactive, it is doctrinally offensive and technologically precise. Prelude to the storm. The Pahalgam attack was not just another act of cross-border terrorism, it was a blatant provocation aimed at destabilizing the region. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, the Indian Defence Establishment, under the leadership of Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan, initiated Operation Sindoor. The objective was clear: dismantle the terror infrastructure and deliver a crippling blow to Pakistan's military capabilities. Day 1 Tactical reassessment and strategic strikes. The initial phase of the operation witnessed a tactical recalibration. Facing unexpected resistance, the IAF swiftly adapted its strategy, emphasizing electronic warfare and precision targeting. This adaptability was evident as the IAF jammed Pakistan's Chinese-supplied air defense systems within 23 minutes, paving the way for unhindered aerial assaults. Decimation of Pakistani air assets. 1. Fighter jets shot down. 6 Pakistani fighter jets were destroyed. 3 JF-17 Thunders, 2 Mirage IIIV variants, and 1 F-16 Block 52. These were eliminated via BVR missile engagements and standoff munitions strikes near Jacobabad, Rahim Yar Khan, and Sargat Ha. This loss devastated Pakistan's QRA network. 2. AEWC platforms eliminated. 2 airborne surveillance aircraft Saab 2000 Iri and ZDK-03 Karak Oram Eagle were destroyed. The former was downed from 314 kilometers using India's S-400 system, while the latter was destroyed in a strike on Bholari Air Base. These kills blinded the PAF during the operation's peak. 3. C-130 Hercules and Special Forces hit a C-130 Hercules transport aircraft, with elite personnel on board, was destroyed at Nurkan Air Base via a BrahMos NG missile strike. The kill disrupted logistics and morale. 4. Drones and UCAVs neutralized. Over 15 Pakistani UCAVs, including Chinese Wing-Lung drones, were destroyed in airspace interceptions and base attacks. India's Akash Tir and Samar systems achieved 100% success rate during the campaign. Precision strikes on Pakistan's strategic air bases. 1. Nurkan Air Base. Chaklela. This air base, located near Rawalpindi and used frequently for both strategic airlift and VIP movement, is one of Pakistan's most high-profile installations. It houses C-130 Hercules aircraft, the PAF Special Services Wing SSW, and at times, acts as a backup command center for air headquarters. The IAF targeted Nurkan with a mix of loitering munitions and BrahMos NG missiles. 1 C-130 Hercules was destroyed during active loading operations. The aircraft was reportedly preparing for a special forces deployment. The strike also resulted in the death of 12 personnel, including elite aircrew and logistics officers. Adjacent hangars were engulfed in flames, with satellite images revealing significant structural damage and debris fields. Strategic impact. Loss of a heavy lift transport aircraft during operational tempo drastically reduced Pakistan's ability to reposition personnel and emergency supplies. The symbolic value of striking Nurkan so close to Islamabad was immense. 2. Bholari Air Base. Located in Sindh, Bholari is relatively new but highly strategic. It houses AEWC aircraft, such as the ZDK-03 Karak Oram Eagle, and supports Eastern Sector radar coverage. India's strikes on Bholari were surgical. A ZDK-03 AEWC aircraft was destroyed in its hardened shelter. Loitering drones confirmed the aircraft's static status before destruction. A secondary blast caused the loss of a control container, believed to be the mobile command module for air surveillance. Strategic impact. The destruction of an AWACS platform here meant Pakistan was flying blind in its southern and eastern air sectors for at least 72 hours. The psychological impact on sortie planning and interdiction response was severe. 3. Sargodha Air Base. This base is the headquarters of PAF's Central Air Command and houses one of its primary F-16 squadrons. Indian missiles likely Sudarshan armed BrahMos variants struck multiple hardened aircraft shelters. One F-16 was destroyed, and several others were damaged as hangars collapsed. The base's main runway was cratered, grounding air operations for nearly 48 hours. Communications from the base went offline temporarily, suggesting damage to underground fiber optic nodes or satellite uplinks. Strategic impact. Disabling the hub of PAF's air superiority capability mid-conflict represented a tactical masterstroke. It delayed all command-level decisions and turned the Sargodha air defense network into an observer, not a responder. 4. Jacobabad Air Base. Used primarily for drone operations and hosting ground attack aircraft, Jacobabad is a second-tier base that evolved into a critical UCAV hub. India employed swarm drones with AI-assist target recognition. Destruction of at least 4 Shapar-II drones and 2 ground control stations was confirmed. A mobile jamming vehicle was destroyed, which had been employed to counter Indian ISR drones. Strategic impact. The loss of ground control and tactical ISR support disrupted Pakistan's ability to surveil Indian strike formations. It also nullified any plan for drone counterattacks or offensive launches from this region. 5. Sukkur Air Base. Sukkur is not a frontline air base but plays a pivotal logistical role, particularly in aircraft refueling, repair, and emergency landings. India's guided bomb attacks focused on aviation fuel farms and mechanical support infrastructure. Runways were not cratered, suggesting India wanted to retain it as a post-conflict emergency strip, but repair sheds and fuel trucks were wiped out. Strategic impact. The intent was clear: deny Pakistan long-range operational sustainability by cutting off supply and recovery chains. Sukkur's loss pushed refueling cycles to Multan and Rahim Yarkhan, increasing turnaround times. 6. Rahim Yarkhan Air Base. An older but still functional base, Rahim Yarkhan stored Mirage IIIV aircraft and was suspected to be housing precision munitions. Spice 2000 bombs were used to destroy 2 Mirage aircraft in shelters. An ammunition truck nearby exploded, creating a domino effect that damaged additional support infrastructure. The base was rendered non-functional for 4,860 hours due to runway damage and fires. Strategic impact. This strike served dual purposes: eliminating a legacy strike asset, the Mirages, and targeting stored high-value munitions to prevent reprisal attacks. 7. Shaubaz Air Base. Although not a major strategic target, Shaubaz was hit in a diversionary attack. Decoy drones and long-range artillery pinned down local SAM systems and distracted early warning systems from the real action happening across the other bases. Radar exposure patterns revealed Pakistani AD radars went into full track mode here for almost 14 minutes. This diversion allowed the IAF to conduct cleaner, unchallenged strikes on Bholari and Sargodha. Strategic impact. This was a classical suppression tactic: confuse, decoy, and overwhelm. Shaubaz's use as a bait zone amplified the success rates of other concurrent missions. A doctrinal shift. India's airbase-focused strikes during Operation Sindoor weren't random retaliatory actions, they were high-order military planning in motion. Each base was selected based on operational role in Pakistan's air defense structure, proximity to command centers, potential to host high-value assets. The timing of the strikes across 10 bases in just over 22 minutes was designed to paralyze PAF's capacity to assess, react, and recover. 3 of these air bases, Nurkhan, Bholari, and Sargodha, held disproportionate value to Pakistan's combat air doctrine. Their temporary neutralization essentially collapsed Central East coordination. What Operation Sindoor achieved in 4 days is what conventional air power theory dreams of but rarely executes: preemptive degradation, strategic disorientation, and surgical decapitation without crossing international lines of escalation. Neutralizing command and control centers beyond the physical destruction of aircraft and air bases, Operation Sindoor strategically targeted Pakistan's command and control infrastructure. Precision strikes were carried out on key communication nodes and radar installations, effectively blinding the PAF and disrupting their operational coordination. This systematic dismantling of command structures ensured that Pakistani forces were unable to mount an effective response, further amplifying the impact of the operation. India's ballistic missile defense A shield against retaliation. Anticipating potential retaliatory strikes, India activated its multilayered ballistic missile defense BMD system to safeguard its territory. The S-400 Triumph, known in India as the Sudarshan Chakra, played a pivotal role in this defense strategy. This advanced system, capable of detecting targets up to 600 kilometers away and engaging them at ranges up to 400 kilometers, successfully intercepted several incoming threats, including drones and missiles launched by Pakistan. Complementing the S-400, India's indigenous Akash Tir system, an automated air defense control and reporting system, effectively neutralized low-altitude threats. During Operation Sindoor, the Akash Tir system demonstrated a 100 kill rate against Pakistani drones, showcasing its efficacy in modern warfare scenarios. Additionally, the Samar air defense system was instrumental in intercepting low-altitude threats, preventing damage to military and civilian infrastructure. International reactions and Trump's comments. In the aftermath of Operation Sindoor, international reactions were swift. U.S. President Donald Trump expressed concern over the escalating tensions between India and Pakistan, stating, "It's a shame. We just heard about it as we were walking in the doors of the Oval. Just heard about it? It's a shame. Hope it ends very quickly." Trump further offered to mediate between the two nations, saying, "Good relationships with both and I want to see it stop. And if I can do anything to help, I will be there." However, India firmly rejected any third-party mediation, emphasizing that the ceasefire was a result of Pakistan's DGMO appeal on his knees and not due to international pressure. Prime Minister Narendra Modi stated that any future provocations from Pakistan would be met with powerful retaliation, underscoring India's commitment to safeguarding its sovereignty. Psychological and operational impact. The rapid and decisive nature of Operation Sindoor had a demoralizing effect on the Pakistani military establishment. Within 88 hours, the scale of destruction compelled Pakistan to seek a ceasefire, highlighting the operation's efficacy in achieving its strategic objectives. International air doctrine comparison. Operation Sindoor represents a shift in India's strategic posture toward preemptive deterrence and precision warfare. In contrast, NATO doctrines emphasize layered suppression and network-centric warfare. Israel's doctrine of preemption. Example: Operation Outside the Box mirrors Sindoor's surprise precision strikes. China follows a doctrine of strategic depth and airspace denial, while the US focuses on full-spectrum dominance, leveraging stealth, satellite ISR, and multi-domain fusion. India's Sudarshan-led approach S-400, Akash Tir, and indigenous UAVs now places it closer to the most sophisticated doctrines globally. Conclusion. Swipe left for next video. The aerial attrition inflicted during Operation Sindoor wasn't merely a tactical victory, it was a doctrinal pivot. The destruction of Pakistan's AEWC fleet, frontline jets, and ISR drones within 88 hours, without IAF losses, marked a new benchmark for regional power assertion. For Pakistan, the damage was deep. For India, the message was clear: preparedness has evolved into preeminence. The writer is a retired officer of the IRS and the former Director General of the National Academy of Customs, Indirect Taxes Narcotics. Views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely that of the author. They do not necessarily reflect News 18's views. Latest blogs.